You're all good.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Josette.
And today we're going to be going over our research project, which is bees and their pollination habits. In this research project, we did survey in 2 different counties. I surveyed in San Diego and Josette surveyed in Fresno. So here's some background information on bees. So they come from the superfamily Apodia, and they play an important role in 2 things, which are pollination and honey production. Bees get their nutrients from nectar and pollen, and they collect pollen and bring it back to their nest to feed to their offspring. Depending on the species of bees, some collect pollen from a wide range of flowers, while others, known as specialists, collect pollen from certain species of plants. These 2 are known as polyectic bees versus oligolage bees. Bees recognize flowers that they want to pollinate by using 2 things, which are the flower's odor and the UV pattern that the flowers give off. Since bees are able to smell, they prefer sweet smelling odors, and they can see UV light, so they tend to prefer blue flowers, purple flowers, yellow, or white flowers.
So we conducted an observational study, and our independent variable was color and height. Our dependent variable were the frequencies of visits from honeybees. Our control variable was the season, since we mainly looked at bee pollination in the summer. Our co-founding variables were the differential rate of visits by honeybees between different species of flowering plants, since we weren't consistent about the organisms or the plants that the bees were pollinating. And we also looked into shape and scent. Our experimental unit were the individual bees, and our replicates were the number of samples taken. So our hypothesis is that we predict more bees will want to pollinate trees with light colored flowers compared to trees or shrubs with darker colored flowers. So you're all good.
Okay, so we have a couple of videos to show you guys that support our hypothesis. So this first video is a tree with white flowers, and as you can see, there are bees pollinating the flowers. Now on this specific tree, there seems to be approximately 4 bees, and there's a lot of bees on this tree because it can depend on a lot of things. 1, their color, 2, the smell that they give off, and also 3, the surface area. Because there is a lot of flowers, there might be more bees. Now below the tree, we can see that there's purple shrubs or purple bushes, and these flowers actually had no bees on them, which can be due to the 3 things I said above.
So in our next video, there's bees pollinating an orange tree, and there were actually a lot of bees on here, possibly due to the large surface area. I had noticed or observed that there were about 5 bees, and this supports our hypothesis because these have light colored flowers, and also the extended surface area would probably mean that there would be a lot more bees pollinating or wanting to pollinate this tree. In the next video, there are bees pollinating a rose bush, and I assumed that there would be at least a lot more bees than other bushes just because of the white flowers. And there were about 3 bees that I had noticed, which were still a lot more than were on some other plants in that area. And then in my last video, there are some more bees pollinating a flower shrub, but this kind of refutes our hypothesis, mainly because of the light colored flowers. Since these are a light pink colored, I assumed that there would be more bees pollinating, but as you can see, there's only 1 lone bee pollinating the bush.
This video refutes the hypothesis because there aren't any bees actually on this tree. This is the same tree species as the tree shown before, the white flower tree, and the purple flower bush below also didn't have any bees. Now this can be because there's low surface volume, there's less flowers in the other tree, and bees will want to pollinate flowers with more trees on them. And in this video, it refutes the hypothesis because there were actually a lot of bees shown on this bush. So we we could see here that the bees are pollinating in different flowers, going from flower to flower. And it's a dark colored flower, it's red, but it could also be that they're attracted to it because of the smell, which we were able to test.
So based on the videos you just saw, we decided to create a graph and showing the different numbers of bees on each plant. On the orange tree, there were about 5 bees that I had noticed, which is the largest, and this could possibly be due to the extended surface area. The rose bush, or the white rose bush, had about 3, and that's possibly due to the white flowers. It wasn't as large as the orange tree, but the white flowers definitely did help with the abundance of bees. The red bush refutes our hypothesis because there were definitely a lot more bees on it than we had anticipated. And the pink flower shrub also refutes our hypothesis, mainly because of the light colored flowers, but there were less bees pollinating. The white flower tree is similar to the orange tree, mainly because of the color of the flowers as well as the larger surface area. And lastly, the white flower tree with the low amount of bees refutes our hypothesis as well, because there were no bees, even though it was a light colored flower. So based on our data, we do believe that it supports our hypothesis. And to reiterate on what our hypothesis was, we said that we believe more bees will want to pollinate trees with light colored flowers compared to trees or shrubs with darker colored flowers. So this supports the hypothesis because there were little to no bees on the purple or light colored or light pink colored shrubs, and there was a higher abundance on the orange tree, and there was a good amount on the white bushes of flowers.
So we did come by a couple of sources of error. So our first one that we did was we should have picked a specific time when to go out and observe the bees. The second error that might have occurred is when counting the number of bees present, we might have miscounted. And the third is that when Josette was surveying in Fresno, some days were windier than other days that she went to survey. And so this might have been a miscount. Some future goals that we would like to see are looking more into the aroma that different flowers give off and how that affects what flowers the bees choose to pollinate. Another is that we would like to look into how the electromagnetic waves factor into bee pollination and why light colored flowers might not get chosen for pollination. And lastly, do their bees pollination preferences change depending on the seasons that we're in? And that's it. Thank you so much.